Hello everyone, we're going to look at the final feature here on the 7 tips on cleaning up the data you have collected. And we're going to look at this very powerful feature called VLOOKUP in Excel. It allows you to integrate, make reference to a different data set by importing some of those important information that you may want to use in your analysis. So let's take a look at VLOOKUP right now. Okay, so at this point in time, we have got 2 data sheets right here. We have the sample unclean data, and we have done the necessary cleaning of the data that in terms of removing some of those duplicates, filling in blanks, as well as treating some of those cells on the student ID column. What we're going to do here is to import some information from student acad data on the second sheet that says admission information that tells us what mode of admission students entered the institutions and whether or not students have prior knowledge on biology. N meaning no, Y meaning yes. Okay, and that will give us a different dimension to the data that we are looking at. So what we're going to do here is to put in the 2 additional columns. One of them said admission, alright, and then the other one, it's whether or not they have biology background. Okay, so that's the 2 additional rows that we are trying to mirror right here. Okay, why can't we just copy all this and then we paste it over? It doesn't work that way because it's not sorted according to student ID, and we don't know whether or not the right applicants have what, and then it will be too troublesome if we match them individually. So we are going to do that referencing here. Okay, and as you can see, student ID exists in both sheets, and so we are going to use student ID as our reference for importing the data. Alright, so let's hit equals and key in VLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, open bracket. Okay, and it says lookup value. So what value do we want to look up here? We want to look at student ID. Hit comma, and it says table array. So table array refers to this table that we have here. So we're going to just highlight the entire table. So highlight the entire table. Now it's important for us to lock this table because Excel works on referencing, and if we start to shift the cells, as you will see later, the referencing may go out and then the formula will return as an error. So how do we fix cell? Let's go to the beginning of the cell that says A1, and let's put in a $sign. So that's a fixed key, $A and $1. So right here we have $C and $78. Okay, so now we have fixed the table array. We will hit the comma button, and it goes on to next criteria. It says column index number. So what does column index number means? It refers to the specific columns on your table array that you are referring to. So because we are looking at admission, admission is the second column. We are just going to put in 2. Alright, but if you are looking at biology, then we will put in 3, but in these situations we are looking at admission, so we're going to put in 2. Alright, let's move on to the next criteria. And it says, okay, you either enter true or false. True means it's an approximate match. That means roughly, if it's close to that student ID number, then it will give a response. But it is not an approximate match here. We are not dealing with a range of something. We are looking at specific values, alright, a specific ID, and therefore we should put in false. Alright, F-A-L-S-E, so false. Okay, and then we close. Alright, so it looks a little bit lengthy in case you need some reference. So this is the formula. We're going to just hit enter and see what happens. Okay, so right here it says this particular student with this particular ID is admitted using EAE. And then let's try to populate the entire list. So what Excel did was to go into this table and it looks up the reference ID and pull out the necessary admission mode that reflects on a particular student. Alright, so that's how it works. Now we need to do the same thing for biology. What you can do is to re-enter the same string of commands on the functions. Otherwise, you can also just copy the previous features across. Okay, but don't worry, it will show up as an error. Okay, why is it an error? It's because previously we referenced it to the student ID. Notice when you start to copy a cell across, Excel also automatically moves that cell one level or one unit to the right. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. What you can do is to click and drag it back and says nope, it should be A2. Alright, but biology, just now we realized it wasn't column 2, it was column 3, right? So let's go down to the column index number, highlight 2 and change it to 3. Okay, so you can either do it here or you can either do it here. Alright, so change it to 3. Once it's done, hit enter. And here it goes. It says the first student has no background on biology, but the third student has some background on biology, and so on and so forth. So now you go, you have imported the data using VLOOKUP, but yet again, all this remains as formula. So let's just select them, alright, copy, and paste them back as values. Okay, so paste it back as values. So you know that you're not working with formulas that reference to something else, but you are actually working with values. Alright, so do a little bit of formatting if you may wish to, and then here you go. All of them are almost all done. Let's do a new filter. Alright, and here we go. We have imported data from a different sheet in your Excel file into this cleanup data. So right here we have all walked through 7 steps to quickly clean up the data that you have imported or you have gathered from your Microsoft Forms or your Google Forms or any other platforms. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much. We have come to the end of the very third installment. If you have got any questions, any inquiries or clarifications, please feel free to reach out to any of us. I'm more than happy to receive your inquiries and to help you with some of the challenges that you may encounter as you start to work with Excel. Thank you, and see you again.